Hello, my love. It gives me so much pleasure to be here with you. And however you got here no longer matters, because here you are, ready to relax, ready to flow into a state, sinking deeply into that place where you can fully relax and let go of everything that has come before this moment. So if you're ready to go on that journey with me, then I want you to find a place where you can relax, where you can be soft and quiet, and just allow the story to flow around you. The first thing I would like you to do is just scan your body. Feel all the different places from your toes to your head. Feel your fingers. Feel your arms. Feel your legs. Feel your core. And just observe what's there. No need to change it. No need to work with it. Just watch. And as you do, allow all of the anxiety, the stress, the thoughts of the previous day to fade into the background, and just be present. Feel my voice come forward in your mind, and let my voice call in all of those sensations of relaxation, of deep peace within yourself. We are going to go on a little journey together. And in this journey, you may feel increasingly sleepy and relaxed. And if there is ever a moment where you feel like you might drift off, that is perfectly fine. You feel yourself walking, and with each step, you notice that your feet are bare, that they press down into delightful and warm sand. You can feel how the sand separates under your feet and collects on top of your toes. It is warm from the heat of the sun during the day. with each step, you can hear the swish, swish, swish of the sand. And as you look around you, you can see the vast desert laid out around you, rolling dunes, and a light breeze blowing across the peaks. You can see small plumes of dust blowing across the horizon. The wind is gentle and warm, and it caresses your face so lightly. You feel around your body flowing robes that lightly whip behind you. They are soft. They allow the breeze through. And you can feel it all over your body as you walk. And above you in the sky, you can see the colors of dusk just disappearing over the horizon. The deep orange and purple and blue. And you can see the stars just beginning to wink open, as if to say hello. I haven't seen you in a while. They seem friendly and comforting. And as you walk, you begin to feel so at peace. There's a certain magical energy about this place, about the space, about the sand, and how alive it all feels. And before long, your feet take you forward over the peak of the dune in front of you, and you see below you, just in the distance, a valley. And in this valley is a grove, an oasis of palm trees and ferns. And in the center is a tranquil pool of water, round and reflecting the stars above. For a moment, you wonder how you might get down to this place. And so you sit down, and as you sit, the sand around you begins to slide. And as if sliding on a cloud, You feel yourself floating downwards, down the dune, feeling the sand cascade around you. And you land softly at the bottom, joyful at the experience. Dusting yourself off, you stand up and walk towards the oasis. You feel your feet again as the sand slowly turns into dirt, and the dirt turns slowly into grass. You feel the grass between your toes and stop for a moment, seeing and feeling the power of this grove. You wonder how it has managed to survive in the middle of this place. This vast and dry desert. It doesn't seem completely natural, as if there's a shimmering, ethereal energy floating through everything. And as you look up, you see the outlines, the silhouette of the palm trees in the sky. As you do, a sliver of a full moon begins to rise over the dune to your left. The moon is bright, casting shadows all around. Before you, you see a small trail, grassy yet worn. You walk forward, feeling the brushing of the ferns on your arms and legs, inviting you forward. You can hear the breeze blowing through the trees. You can still feel the sand on your face. But this time you feel cool and relaxed. You feel that energy beginning to spread out into the space. By the end of the trail, the trees open up into a clearing, an open space. And before you, you see a completely placid, glass-like pool of water. Sitting down on the bank of grass beside the water, you simply watch for a moment, wondering if you should disturb such a perfect view. But in feeling around with your hands beside you, your fingers brush up against the copper of a cup sitting beside you. You grasp this cup and raise it up, and noticing how sturdy it feels in your hands. You lean forward and dip the cup into the water with the slightest of ripples. In the ripples, you can see the shimmering of the stars and how they dance. You raise the cup to your lips and drink the cool liquid, and it tastes so clean and refreshing. It fills you with a sense of calm, as if you could taste serenity, as if you could feel the texture of tranquility as you swallow. You close your eyes for a moment and lean back, enjoying the flush of feelings that cascade over you. And after a moment, you look down and see within your hand no longer a cup, but now a necklace. The necklace gleams in the moonlight with black obsidian. A simple oblong stone that seems also to have a magical quality about it. You raise the necklace to your head and put it around your neck. And in so doing, the brief feeling of tranquility that came in from drinking the water then deepens, and you feel yourself drifting down into a peaceful place even further than before. In a moment, you stand up and feel the feet underneath you, as if they are simply floating you forward. You step down into the pool of water, noticing that the pool is in fact shallow, only going up to your knees. You feel yourself walking forward across the pool of water, and before you, you see the moon rising above a dune. Between the trees, there is another trail, and it leads straight towards this point. You didn't notice it before, but now you realize that dune is your destination. Slowly, you come to the edge of the pool and step up onto the grass. You feel the water dripping down your legs as you continue to step forward. The grass dries your feet, and then the grass turns to dirt, and the dirt turns to sand. And using your hands and feet, you begin to climb, one step at a time, up the side of this dune. Swish, swish, swish. You feel yourself reaching the top. And as you reach the crest of this dune, the sky opens up before you. The light of dusk is completely gone now. And in its place is the bright symphony of the Milky Way galaxy spread out before you, and above you, and behind you. And the full moon welcoming you into this place. Behind you, you see the oasis. And when you turn to look towards the moon, below you again, you expect to see more dunes and desert. But this time, there's something different. You almost can't make it out, but you know it's there. The outline of a castle, partially buried in the sand. So, you wonder, what is that place? And you were filled with curiosity. Once again, you sit down on the top of the dune and slide all the way down. Once again, floating on that cloud. Once again, feeling the sand underneath you. As you get closer to this castle, you notice there is a bridge and a dry moat. You get up and walk towards the gate. The gate stands about 20 feet, and it is made of dark mahogany and iron. Your fingers reach the gate, feeling the texture and the coolness of the metal. You trace the outlines of the runes that are carved in the wood, carved in some ancient language that you cannot understand. And as you walk along these doors, you come to the stone, and your fingers trace along a particular rune that is round and looks different than all the others. The rune flashes with a small, nearly unnoticeable glow. And with a deep creak and a crunch, the gate begins to swing open. And it stops, opening just a little bit. You walk to the opening and wrap your hand around the edge of the door and begin to pull it open. It swings open nearly effortlessly, as if the gate were on smooth hinges. You step inside the opening and find on the other side a hallway, a foyer with a curved ceiling. And on the right, you notice a table, a small wooden round table with a candle sitting on top of it. The candle flickers and reflects light along the walls and the tan stone of the castle. You walk to this table and see for the first time a small note sitting on top of it. You reach for this note and unfold the piece of paper. In a flowery handwriting, the note says, "Come in. Come a little further. I await you inside." And with that, you put the paper in your pocket and you turn and grasp the candle in your hands. You begin to walk toward what looks like a doorway at the end of this foyer. Adjacent to either side of you are doors and portals leading to unknown parts of this castle. You can feel the wind blowing through the doorway. You can see the glow of the moon reflecting shadows all around. And the castle feels asleep. It feels peaceful, like it hasn't been occupied in centuries. As you walk deeper into the foyer, you reach the doorway. The door is slightly ajar. You pull open the door, and on the other side you see a courtyard. This courtyard is oval in shape, and you begin to walk around the perimeter, feeling the stone along your fingers. It feels like soft sandpaper. You walk and reach the other side of the courtyard. And all of a sudden, you hear the faint sound of a piano lightly playing various chords. The chords call in feelings of the wind, the feelings of the sand around, a feeling of sorrow. And you know that you must go and see who is playing. But it is difficult to tell where the piano is coming from. The echoes sound along the walls, and you walk to one side of the courtyard, and the echoes seem to come from the other side, and the same thing when you walk to that side as well. So you then go to simply stand in the center, and you sit down and just listen. The piano is so beautiful. And in letting go, in letting yourself just sit and surrender, you suddenly open your eyes and see directly before you a small tower and the glow of a candle in a window. Why hadn't you noticed it before, you wonder? No matter. I must go see. And so you dust yourself off again and get up and walk toward the tower. You come upon a doorway. Only this doorway looks different than all the others. It is made of a white stone, but it feels so light and warm to the touch. You push on this doorway and it swings open. Inside you hear the echoes of the piano stronger now. You feel as though you float up the round staircase. The staircase creaks with the wood supports. And as you reach the top of the tower, you come upon a second white stone door. Only this time, in the center of this door is a circle of runes and an imprint made of black obsidian. You notice that this imprint has a particular shape. And you look down at your chest and see the necklace. The necklace has the same shape. You wonder, should I place the necklace into this imprint? You listen at the door, and you hear the piano playing behind. The tone of the piano shifts, and it takes on a new level of excitement. You feel along the doorway for any kind of knob or latch, and there's nothing. You push on the doorway, but it does not give. So, without any other options other than to go back from whence you came, you decide to place the necklace into the door. With a click, light begins to pour out around the edge of the door, and a flash, nearly blinding. And the door opens. It opens wide, revealing inside a bed chamber, dimly lit with candlelight. And on one end, the far end of this room, you see a hunched figure sitting at a grand piano. You see the outline of his hands drifting gracefully over the keys. It seems like his fingers dance, almost of their own accord. And a voice calls out to you and says, "Oh, hello. Welcome. I've been waiting for you." Come in, come in. Gaining some confidence, you step inside, and you slowly walk toward the figure. You're unsure of what to make of this person, but he seems welcoming. Walking up to stand beside the figure, you finally notice that it is an old man, and he is dressed in dark robes. You can see his hands just coming out of his sleeves that are almost too big for him. He plays with graceful intensity and travels his fingers up the keys and back down, and he pauses at a low chord and lets it echo out across the room. And with that, he turns his head and looks at you with these deep brown eyes. And he says, "I've been here so long. It is so good to have a visitor. Would you like a cup of tea?" You nod your head. A cup of tea would be lovely. So he slowly gets up and shuffles his way across the room. There's a teapot already steaming. So he grasps the handle and pours a dark liquid into a cup. And then he pours it into a second cup and takes both of the cups, bringing one to you. "Here's to new friends," he says, and takes a drink. You smell and sip the tea. It has a light mint flavor to it, a hint of rose. And again, you notice that feeling of tranquility. You ask the man, "Did you make this tea from the oasis?" He cracks a smile and nods. "Of course. That is the water of life. The water of the dream." You say, "The dream? What do you mean?" "Yes, the dream," he says. "The dream is all around you. It flows in and invites you to surrender, because all of this is nothing but a dream." "Really?" you say, as you sip the tea again. "Isn't that wonderful?" you say. And then the man puts down his cup of tea and takes yours as well. And he turns. He blows out the candle on the table next to him. And then he shuffles around the room and begins to blow out each candle one by one. And you notice the darkness beginning to take over the room as he does so. And as he walks, he says, "My friend, It's time for us to go. You have freed me from my prison, and I will forever be in your debt. And at the sound and tone of his voice, you feel a powerful shiver, a knowing come through you that this is no ordinary offer. Upon arriving at the last candle in the room, he picks it up and brings it towards you. Let us leave this place, he says. And so he leads you out of the door. And as he does, he reaches his hand and grasps the necklace, and he pulls it out of the imprint. He turns and looks at you with the necklace in his hand and says, "This is yours. Keep it if you would." And you take the necklace and put it around your neck again, feeling that flush of relaxation. You follow the old man down the wood stairs, his hand grasping at the railing. But as you walk, you notice that his steps begin to get stronger. He begins to stand slightly taller, and you reach the bottom of the steps at the bottom of the tower, and he strides forward towards the white door. Upon reaching the outside, he stands in the courtyard, bathed in moonlight. You come forward and stand in the doorway. You see the old man is in fact no longer an old man, but he is tall, and his hair has darkened from white to a deep black. Before long, you walk up to stand beside him and ask, "What are you?" He takes in a deep breath. "Smell that air," he says. "That is such freedom as I have not felt in centuries. I was imprisoned here by a sorcerer who had no business playing with the magic that he had found. I am but an element. I am the vision that walks beside the wind. I am the feeling that appears when the sand blows in your face. It is in my voice that the rustling of the trees and ferns comes forth. And because you have freed me can find the world again. So, here. And he reaches up into the sky. And from your perspective, it just looks like he's reaching up. But his hand covers the moon. And he cups his hand and pulls his hand downward. And the light of the moon follows his hand. The moon is no longer in the sky, you realize, but it is clasped inside his fingers. He begins to float the moon around his fingers, allowing it to roll back and forth. He turns his wrist and he pinches it between his thumb and forefinger and hands it towards you. Now, my friend, he says, this is a token of my deep love for you. This is a power, a gift that I have not been able to give in a very long time. And do you know what that power is? It is the power to surrender, the power to observe, the power to see the dream, to experience the dream, to know the difference between the dream and not the dream. And all you have to do is look at the moon, and it will show you the way. So, enjoy that while it lasts. The moon won't be there for long. It has a job to do. And you are now its keeper. So, I bid you farewell, my friend. I cannot express how deeply I love you. So please, take care of yourself. Remember the dream, and we will meet again before too long, I'm sure. So off he walks to the other side of the courtyard, and you can see him raise his hand and tap the stone wall. And before you, all around, you hear the gentle rumbling of sand flowing. You see the castle begin to disintegrate before your eyes, turning into dust. And within only a few minutes, the castle has completely disappeared, sinking down into the desert. before you, the man fades away into the distance until you can't see him anymore. And you look down into your hand, seeing the moon glowing there, and feel deep gratitude, deep peace. And so, clenching the moon in your hand, you gently toss it up back into the air above you, and it floats perfectly back into position where it was before. You blow a kiss and then walk forward, feeling the sand between your toes, feeling the dust separate under your feet, and watching the dunes around you as they blow